day.
Good afternoon and welcome to India Today. I'm Anjali Istwal. We are opening this bulletin with big breaking news coming in. This is from the Parliament where there was a case of MPs smoking and vaping within the Parliament premises. And now it seems an inquiry has been ordered by the Speaker on this incident. E-cigarette inquiry is taking place in this case and samples have been sent for forensic testing, and the committee is awaiting reports of this. Joining us right now is India Today's Aishwarya Paliwal. Aishwarya, those videos were widely circulated. There was a formal inquiry initiated as a complaint was put in by Anurag Thakur as well. It was a formal complaint. What are we hearing about the inquiry?
Well, Anjali, there are certain things that we should make it very, very clear for the viewers. First and foremost, there is a smoking room which has been made in the Parliament building. So just in case some MP wants to smoke, so there is a designated room like there was one in the old building. So this is something which is very, very clear. Secondly, on the floor, in the house, you are not supposed to be smoking cigarette, neither are you supposed to be vaping. So this is something which the Speaker has taken cognizance of, and the other MPs have also complained about it. The first complaint was, of course, filed by Anurag Thakur. Forensic samples have now been sent, and the committee is now waiting for the forensic samples to take place. The committee, in fact, from what we are understanding at the moment, will also be calling the particular MP in question, and time will be given so that his version also is being heard, and then a final decision will be taken. But the rules are very, very clear. You cannot be smoking or vaping inside the house. Anjali.
Right. Thank you very much, Aishwarya, for those details. So clearly an inquiry is underway to find out what really happened. Remember, it is a no smoking zone within Parliament and its grounds. And we have a breaking news coming in from Bangladesh. Another Hindu has died in Bangladesh. A renowned singer and Awami League leader, Pralay Chaki, has died in police custody. Now his death is considered mysterious, and Rajshahi Medical College Hospital is where this death has occurred on Sunday late evening. Now the family is accusing the interim government and the administration of negligence and ill treatment during his detention. Now, Pralay was a musician and he served as cultural secretary of the Pabna district unit of the Awami League and general secretary of the district Awami Shilpi Goshti. He also served as joint secretary for culture at the Banmali Shilpakala Kendra. Now joining us live now is India Today's Ashutosh Mishra. Ashutosh, what do we know about this death?
Last evening, 9 p.m. when at Rajshahi Medical College, he took his last breath. The family is accusing for the total negligence and ill treatment during the detention. Remember, he was a prominent Awami League leader from Pabna district, at the same time renowned musician of Bangladesh. And as we know, during the July uprising, most of the Awami leaders were arrested. He was arrested in the month of December, and also he was framed in a bombing case of during July uprising movement. So clearly it was a long detention. On Friday, when he witnessed a cardiac arrest, he suffered a cardiac arrest. He was taken to Rajshahi Medical College, and last evening he took his last breath because of cardiac arrest. He was suffering from several medical critical illness, including heart disease. Now the family is accusing that even during the detention, since he was arrested, there was ill treatment, there was negligence by the administration. He wasn't given proper treatment, and once he fell down because of the cardiac arrest, it was too late to take him to the hospital. At 9 p.m. when he died, and remember, the minorities have been accusing persecution in Bangladesh. We have witnessed lynching of Deepu Das. This case, of course, we are still waiting for the official statement from the government, the interim administration and the police, and also the post-mortem report. The cause of death remains the cardiac arrest, and because it was severely ill. But at the same time, the family accusing that also the kind of arrest. Remember, he was a musician, local Awami leader, but arrested in a bombing case. And then because of the prolonged detention, the family is accusing ill treatment during the jail custody, and he died mysteriously when he was in a jail custody.
Absolutely. Again, another death, and in questionable circumstances. Thank you very much for all those details. And news coming in related to actor turned politician Vijay's questioning by the CBI. Now already 2 hours of questioning has been underway. So far, Vijay has been questioned and his statement has been recorded. This is the information we are getting as far as his CBI questioning is concerned. Although there has been no confrontation with any other person, but he has been confronted with documentary evidence, which is a possibility that it will happen today. So the documentary evidence that we are talking about is, of course, the videos that we had been telling you about since morning. And joining us right now live is India Today's Munish Pandey. Munish, what are we hearing about the questioning?
Well, Anjali, we are standing right outside the CBI headquarters where Vijay is being questioned since 12:15 this afternoon. Now, what we have been given to understand so far is 2 hours of questioning has been concluded by the CBI officials. And today, Anjali, what is important is his statement is being recorded. He is not being confronted with any other person involved in this particular stampede. Last time, Anjali, when TVK functionaries were called in by the CBI headquarters for questioning right at this office, there was a confrontation between the TVK functionaries and Tamil Nadu police officials. But today, we have been given to understand is that first round of questioning was only recording of statements where he was asked specifically about that particular incident. He was also asked that he was in an open vehicle where he could see the crowd fainting. But he didn't do anything. He continued with his speech on that particular day for next 7 to 8 minutes. Also, he was told by the CBI officials that there are video footage in which he can be seen throwing away the water bottles to the crowd which were asking for the bottle, and also those who were fainting, but still he didn't do anything. So all these types of questions are being posed before Vijay at this point of time. The lunch, of course, was given to Vijay inside the CBI headquarters. Usually we have seen that there is 1 hour of lunch break where the person who is being questioned by the CBI can step outside the CBI headquarters, go have his lunch, and then he can come back. But in this case, because of the security protocol, he decided to take his lunch inside the CBI headquarters. Second round of questioning has just begun, Anjali, and we have been given to understand is that in the second round of questioning, there is a high possibility that he will be confronted with the documentary evidence. And when we talk about the documentary evidence, it is going to be the agreement which was made between Tamil Nadu police and the TVK functionaries, that these are the protocols which has to be followed. These are the arrangements like water bottles, food, toilets. These arrangements have to be made by the TVK party functionaries. All those documentary evidence will be shown to Vijay. He will be confronted with those documentary evidence.
Right.
And of course, as you rightly pointed out, they will of course going to talk about the video footage where he could be seen on top of vehicle, where he could see not only crowd fainting but also giving water bottles.
Right. Thank you, Manish, for all those details. So the questioning continues in Vijay's case. Now, as we know, the big news coming in right now is that Vijay has been questioned for the last 2 hours, and it will continue. And as we were just told by our correspondent, the line of questioning now shifts to all the documents that were signed by him and all the promises that were made by the TVK functionaries about the facilities that will be provided to the people over there, which were clearly lacking and led to that kind of a tragedy. So it also appears that he did not step out for lunch and decided to take his lunch within the office premises, considering the security issues. And now, let's go across to Sakshi Batra of Business Today, who joins us with all the updates of the markets. Sakshi, over to you.
Thanks, Anjali. Good afternoon and welcome to the Business Today show where we get you all the market closing action. First up, let's take a look at what's hot in the corporate and the financial world, viewers. On the bumpy road of the India-US trade deal, positive news today. US Ambassador Sergio Gor has highlighted strong ties, said the next trade call is tomorrow, and announced India's invitation to Pax Silica, a US-led initiative securing silicon and semiconductor supply chains. Sharp market rebound on US trade comments. Sensex rises 1,000 points from the day's low. Nifty nears 25,800. Critical mineral stocks, NMDC, GMDC surge, and export-oriented stocks like Avanti Feeds hit days high after Ambassador Gor signals India-US trade progress and Pax Silica entry. All eyes on IT majors TCS and HCL Tech as both announced Q3 results today. TCS expected to report muted but stable quarter. Focus on AI-led growth, capital allocation and margin resilience. HCL Tech earnings may reflect wage hike impact from October 2025. In an exclusive conversation, market veteran Samir Arora says FII selling isn't just about valuations. He expects foreign investors to return, citing India's strong fundamentals, past underperformance and the US cooling ties with India. In the union budget, the government may announce a customs duty overhaul to simplify tariff slabs, reduce disputes, align with trade deals, and possibly include an amnesty scheme for legacy cases, as per sources. The sharp recovery in the markets is being seen after the newly appointed US ambassador to India has hinted at positive developments on the India-US trade front. He said trade talks are actively underway with the next trade call scheduled for tomorrow. Also calls India real friends. The ambassador also announced a major strategic move, saying India will be invited to join the Pax Silica, a US-led initiative to build a secure global silicon and semiconductor supply chain alongside partners such as Japan, South Korea and the UK and Israel. Let's listen into what he had to say.
हमने कर काम किया वही उमंग.
I've traveled all over the world with President Trump, and I can attest that his friendship with Prime Minister Modi is real. The United States and India are bound not just by shared interest, but by a relationship anchored at the highest levels. Real friends can disagree, but always resolve their differences in the end. Last week, our great Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, powerfully stated that this year will be a year of reciprocity. We are raising the standard for diplomacy itself. That means fair trade, mutual respect, and shared security. Many of you have asked me for an update on the ongoing trade deal negotiations. Both sides continue to actively engage. In fact, the next call on trade will occur tomorrow. I also want to share with you today a new initiative that the United States launched just last month called Pax Silica. Pax Silica is a US-led strategic initiative to build a secure, prosperous, and innovation-driven silicon supply chain, from critical minerals and energy inputs to advanced manufacturing, semiconductors, AI development, and logistics. Nations that joined last month include Japan, South Korea, the United Kingdom, and Israel. Today, I'm pleased to announce that India will be invited to join this group of nations as a full member next month.
Viewers, let me quickly go across to our special guest of the day, Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, the Group Chairman of IndiTrade Capital, is joining in to share with us his views on the markets. Welcome to you, Sudeep ji, and always a pleasure to have you with us. Finally, some good news by way of trade talks between US and India is coming in. Last week's carnage is finally seeing some breath of fresh air. How are you really looking at this move and the statement coming in from the US ambassador to India? And once the ball starts to roll on the trade front, what is it that the markets can expect?
Well, definitely positive development. I mean, after all what happened and the kind of statements which were coming out of US, I think this is a pleasant surprise and a positive development. Market has really appreciated that, and that's why the sudden spurt in the market, more than 100 points, market has moved up since then, and it was bound to happen. I think this is one very important, affair which was plaguing the market. India-US trade deal. Apart from economic impact, there's a significant psychological impact on the foreign investors and the risk aversion as far as India is concerned. Now, if there is a deal which is going to happen in the near future, this will definitely have a positive impact on markets as well as eventually on economy of India, definitely. So yes, we will look forward to that. But having said that, I will also put in a word of caution. Too much should not be attached to this statement. There are still challenges, which is what we understand, and we'll have to see how these are navigated. I would hope that better sense prevails and some kind of mid path is arrived at so that there is a workable deal, which I think both the nations can go ahead with.
Okay, so how would you really look at some of the export-oriented sectors that are already showing us some positive reversals in those positive signs? Would you still be cautiously optimistic there, or how would you approach them?
Well, I'll definitely be cautious. I think we have seen this movie many times. Over the last 1 year, there have been many occasions where there has been some positive statement, some positive development, and these stocks have run up only to be disappointing the investors at a later stage because of certain reversals in positions. And at one point of time, everybody was pretty sure in the market that deal would happen in November.
Yeah.
November came and went, December came and went, and now we are in January. Let's hope things move in the positive direction. But I think I will definitely advise investors to refrain from going out whole hog and buying into these export-led sectors at this stage. Wait and watch this space. Maybe you will miss the bottom, but at least you will not regret.
Fair point. What do you make of this Pax Silica announcement coming in by way of expansion of the supply chains that the US is inviting India for as well? We have seen some initial reaction from mining majors, rare earth mineral majors, NMDC, GMDC today. Of course, semiconductors, AI, as the ambassador was mentioning, all of that will be in focus. And if India gets to participate in that, any kind of sector stocks that you're watching out for with this announcement?
This is an interesting development. I think this will forge a friendship with US at a different level. I think the nations mentioned by the ambassador are all in need of this. So whether it's a Japan or South Korea or US or UK, they all need it, and so does India, because India doesn't have too much of proven reserves of rare earths or semiconductors at this stage. And for economic growth, all of these are desperately needed. And unfortunately, we are dependent on certain nations, including China, for supply of these. And that's not a very happy situation to be in today's very, very tense geopolitical situation. So some kind of understanding, some kind of alliance of the users. Basically, if you look at it this way, these are the alliance of the users of these materials. Heavy users of these materials, which I think is being tried to be formed, and this should be good. At least there will be negotiating power on both the sides. Today, I think China has been holding all the cards as far as rare earth is concerned. Now, if you have a bloc which is the biggest user of these materials, I think there will be a counterweight, and this is definitely a positive development. As far as specific stocks are concerned, I think if these kind of alliance gets into place, some of the automobile majors, which are domestic automobile majors, which are dependent on rare earth to a great extent for the EV, I think they will benefit. So a Bajaj Auto, a Mahindra, Tata Motors, all of them will benefit. Of course, if you talk about our producers, there are only a handful of them. And GMDC name comes to mind, obviously. NMDC may not be directly, some indirect benefit, but GMDC definitely should benefit.
Fair point. Viewers, let's shift also focus on to the big domestic update that we're going to be looking forward to, and that's Union Budget. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has now cleared the confusion over the budget date, confirming that the Union Budget 2026 will be presented at 11 a.m. on February 1st, even as the date falls on a Sunday this year. Let's listen in.
1 फरवरी को ही बजट की कार्रवाई होगी सुबह 11 बजे।
सर इन द कॉन्फ्रेंस
संसद सदस्य रविवार शनिवार 24 घंटे 365 दिन काम करने वाले लोग हैं।
सर
जनता की सेवक हैं, क्या रविवार क्या शनिवार,
सर
नौकरी थोड़ी कर रहे हैं, जनता के सेवक हैं।
All right, so the budget is actually coming in on 1st of February, and on to a budget exclusive then. According to sources, the government is now working on a fresh overhaul of the customs duty framework, which could be announced in the upcoming budget. The move is also aimed at simplifying tariffs and reducing disputes amid India's expanding trade engagements. For more on this, I'm now joined by my colleague Karishma Sudani. Karishma, what do you have for us? What are sources telling you? What do we expect in this budget?
Well, Sakshi, what's expected is an overhaul of the indirect taxation, particularly dealing with customs. It was early in December that Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had already shared that post the big bang income tax announcement that came in last budget, and of course GST simplification that happened in the month of September 2025. Now the focus of the government is to simplify its custom tariff slabs. Currently we understand there are about 8 slabs. In fact, in the last budget, they were simplified, the government had simplified to bring them to 8, but now we are picking up from our sources, they can go as low as that, say 5 or 6. There could also be some simplification on what will be included and what not, and all of this is in the backdrop of the major trade deals that are happening. A lot of countries have shared that with an easier customs policy and easier simplified tariff structure, trade conversations with different countries could actually pave way. Government could also give in some room for an amnesty scheme to do away with the existing litigation cases under customs. About close to 1.5 lakh crore is stuck when it comes to custom litigation cases. So government may announce that and do a cleaning, a sweeping exercise this budget in terms of indirect taxation.
Fair point. All right. Keep an eye out on that. Karishma, thanks a lot for all of those updates. This will be an interesting one if it really comes in. Let's go across to Sudeep to take a view on that. Sudeep, are you penciling in any big bang announcements in this budget, especially sources telling us it could be the overhauling of the customs duty this time around?
Makes tremendous sense. I think, rationalization and overhauling of customs is, I think, need of the hour. And if they can effectively do it, the way they...
Yeah. I guess there is some technical glitch there. We'll go back to Sudeep in a moment when we clear up that one. But breaking news coming on your screens, viewers, in the meanwhile, and this is from the US again. Dow futures have fallen over 350 points after Jerome Powell has said that he's under criminal investigation. In a video message posted on the Federal Reserve's official handle on X, Powell has said that the probe was an outcome of the Fed's setting interest rates based on what is their best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of President Donald Trump. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's term ends in May of 2026, and interviews are currently ongoing for his successor already. No official announcement has so far been made on this regard, but so far, if you look at the Dow, it's actually fallen by 350 points. Sudeep is back with us. Sudeep, you were talking about the budget expectations on customs duty.
Well, I said that, it will be excellent if the customs structure is overhauled and rationalized. They have done with GST that, they have tried to do with income tax that, and I think customs is the next thing which they should be doing. Business should be happy, import-export should be streamlined and, smoothened out, and that should happen. Of course, closing all the old litigations through some amnesty scheme is always a welcome development. So, yes. But since we are on the topic of the budget, I must say that capital market also expects a lot of things. And, we want the FIIs to come back in a big way. And capital gains tax has been a niggling, long-term capital gains tax has been a niggling problem there. And definitely the market will wish that it goes away. It will also, as usual, expect some better treatment on the STT.
Do you think it should be done away with, the capital gains tax altogether, at least?
Yeah, look, long-term capital gains tax was not there. It was introduced again, reintroduced, I would say, and that created a lot of friction. Once you have a challenge in terms of currency depreciation, lower returns from a market, and on top of that, if there is a long-term capital gains tax, and that disincentivizes the investors who tend to be long-term. Now, we definitely want long-term investors in this country, and you don't incentivize that.
Absolutely. That's an important one. And hopefully the government is listening on to that, especially because it's the last 1.5, 2 years. We've actually seen the domestic investors really lifting the weight on the markets when the foreign investors have been fleeing. This is the time to incentivize them as well. But Sudeep, we were also talking about the auto space that is important to you at this point in time. Let's actually shift focus to this auto space. Maruti Suzuki has now announced a major capacity expansion plan in Gujarat to address the rising demand and production constraints. The automaker's board has now approved a significant investment to acquire land for new manufacturing facility, and Chetan Bhutani is now joining in with all of those details. Chetan, do help us understand what's on the top radar of Maruti when it comes to expanding their capacities now.
Sakshi, Maruti Suzuki's board has granted approval to acquire land for expansion of the production capacity at Koraj Industrial Estate from Gujarat Industrial Development Corporation. Well, Sakshi, this will be Maruti's second plant in Gujarat, first being at Hansalpur. Currently, the total existing capacity of the company stands at about 24 lakh units per annum in Gurugram, Manesar, Kharkhoda and Hansalpur, with a capability of producing 26 lakh units per annum. But with this, the capacity would be further enhanced to 1 million or 10 lakh units per annum. It will be, of course, operational in phases. The company has said the board has, in fact, approved 4,960 crore rupees towards cost of land acquisition, development, preparatory activities, and the other stuff as well. However, raising the questions on how it will be financed, the company has mentioned that it will be done through internal accruals and external borrowing. The factory will be catering to both domestic and export markets. In fact, when I spoke to my sources in Maruti, they mentioned that the company plans to cater to the EV dream also. So, of course, EV and exports is a big thing in Gujarat for Maruti Suzuki, and they will be continuing this dream in Gujarat as well.
Okay, thanks a lot then, Chetan, for all of that. Sudeep ji, how would you look at this big bang expansion plan by Maruti now, and within the auto space, is this a company that you're looking at?
We have been liking Maruti for some time. In fact, this GST reforms definitely gave Maruti a leg up. There were a lot of challenges in terms of demand at the lower level, and the lower priced vehicles were not gaining traction. But with this GST reform and some of the other reforms, including income tax relief for the common man, etc., I think we have seen record demand as far as lower end vehicles of Maruti are concerned, and we know Maruti dominates that end of the market. So yes, Maruti from a long-term perspective does look good. They are big exporters as well, and I think all these incremental facilities will go towards establishing their position even further. But if I have to look at one automobile company, I think I will still go for Mahindra and Mahindra. Okay. We've been liking M&M for about a year plus, and it has rewarded the investors. And we still believe that all the vectors of growth in M&M are positive still. Whether it's the tractor segment, whether it's the EV segment, whether it's of course the SUV, all the segments are doing well and are expected to continue doing well in the near future as well.
Right. Sudeep ji, apart from the auto space, let's also shift focus to something which is closer at hand, and that's the earnings, kind of recovery that we are going to be expecting this time around. It's going to be IT bellwethers, TCS and HCL Tech that will kickstart this season officially with the big numbers coming in after the market hours today. What's your broad expectation from the IT sector and overall on the earnings season?
Well, TCS should be by and large okay as per expectations. We will definitely watch out what they comment on the future of their AI. They are planning to invest quite a bit on the AI front, and we'll definitely want to hear the management commentary on the future growth potential there. But by and large, they should be in line with expectations and should show a nominal growth. Also, remember, rupee depreciation will definitely aid their profit and loss account. I don't think this has got any long-term implication, but for the quarter, the P&L will look good. As far as HCL is concerned, while again the rupee depreciation will ensure P&L does look better than what it would have been otherwise, but the wage hike which they took in October will have its negative impact in this quarter's earnings. So HCL probably will be subdued with some positivity coming through rupee depreciation.
Okay. In fact, we have a query from one of our viewers on the earnings season. I'm putting that across to you. Rajni from Bhopal says, sir, can you help me understand how to invest in markets during the earnings season?
Well, I think earnings season are expected to be better than Q2, and we don't have a margin of error. I think we have been for quite some time talking about things improving And there is no reason for any company to say there was some problem, because the market was good, demand was back, GST rationalization has happened, tax relief was given, and this is a festive season, blah blah. So things should be good. So if you want to really invest, look at long-term bet. And I still believe that large cap stocks provide a safe long-term opportunity. We do like Larsen & Toubro, so you can look at Larsen & Toubro. You can look at some of the financial services companies, particularly PSU banks. We do like them. You can look at some of the gold loan companies in the BFSI space. We do like them. And there are multiple other opportunities which will emerge, I'm sure. Have a look at the quarterly numbers, and you are talking about tracking that. Please do that. Yeah. Cement should do well as well.
Okay, last question your way. This is from Antara from Chandigarh. She wants to know from you, should I focus on export-oriented sectors now, or should I look at budget-related stocks?
Well, definitely not export-oriented sectors. I think that will be a very aggressive call to take because I think there are still many things which are in a state of flux, and I definitely would recommend that. You can look at stocks with a budget focus, and in that area, my eternal favorite has been construction, infrastructure, because public spending has been very good, and public spending is going to continue in a big way, even in current budget. That's our belief. So you can focus on these kind of stocks. I talked about Larsen & Toubro just now. I think it's a fantastic stock to invest and remain invested in. You can look at other infrastructure, construction related stocks as well. There is one more thing I would say. We expect electricity reforms, some kind of a new bill coming as far as electricity is concerned, because there has been a lot of challenges in transmission. Other segments of electricity industry is doing well, but transmission, there'll be some reforms. So if you want to take an aggressive position, maybe you can look at some of the electricity, power related companies as well.
Interesting. Fair point. Thank you so much, Sudeep ji, for being with us. It's always a pleasure to seek all these wonderful insights from you for all our viewers of Business Today and India Today. Hope you have a great time. We'll see you soon on another edition. All right, viewers, it's time that we close in on the markets now. We're just a few seconds away from the market shutting shop. 25,800 on your screens. That's a great way to end something which started off on an extremely jittery note today. We're almost ending all 0.5% higher. Look at the kind of volume surge. Look at the kind of sentiments improve after 12 p.m. in the second half of trading session. A photo finish is what we've seen on Nifty and Nifty Bank, about 0.5% higher in trade. Metals have really led to a lot of this pull up in trade. Look at the metals index, that's also higher by about 0.2% odd. Look at PSU banks, those are also up and about in trade. Yeah, so on your screens, metals up by 2%. Even PSU banks have managed to rally about 0.7, 0.8% in trade. FMCG stocks, the consumer focused stocks, they're also pulling up in trade as well. Look at the oil and gas names. Banks entirely, all of them have shaped up as well. Broader markets, mixed note. You can see the mid caps ending on a positive note. Small caps still managed to recover, but still ended into the red. On the Nifty, let's also now focus on the top big movers in trade today. Of course, the big gainers were led by Coal India. The stock moved up by 3.3%. Followed by Tata Steel, Asian Paints, IndusInd Bank, JSW Steel, Trent, Hindalco. These were some of the top gainers as far as the Nifty is concerned. What did not participate despite this smart recovery into the markets? About 8-10 stocks still ended into the red. Infosys, you can see about 1% losses there. It was the top laggard. Eicher Motors, Hero Moto also slipped in trade. Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Auto. So autos, some of the stocks were in the slower lane. You could also see some nervousness ahead of the IT sector numbers coming in. Therefore, Infosys was also down in trade. When we look at the big gainers from the Nifty 500 stocks, well, we had Vari Renewable Technologies up by about 5 to 6% higher in trade. You had Force Motors up by about 6%. You also had names like Dredging Corporation up and about in trade. GMR Power up in trade as well. Phase 3 up in trade. So these were some of the stocks that really managed high single digits, high double digit kind of names there in the Nifty 500 basket. And now remember, viewers, as the countdown to Budget 2026 begins, investors are now navigating the choppy markets amid global uncertainties, the rising tariff risks, a weakening rupee, and the gold and silver prices at record high levels. In this environment, where should investors be putting in their money? Business Today's group editor Siddharth Zarabi and Abha Bakaya also speak exclusively with Samir Arora, the founder and the fund manager at Helios Capital, on the sectors to watch and investment strategies in navigating the volatility in the markets.
Well, Samir, it's been a fantastic beginning, really, and you saw how the Sensex jumped and how the Nifty reacted, and you yourself reacted. Let's also bring that up on the screen as I come to you. What does this really mean? Good news finally, or should we still be a little cautious?
Well, I don't know whether it's good news in the sense, but people had assumed the worst, as if we are going to have 500% tariffs and that US will, if it happened, like you would lose India as a friend for years maybe, and also that whether India will keep insisting that even if we have 500% or 100% tariff, we will still import that last 1 million barrels of oil. So that also was a bit overdone, that as if the natural next part to this new bill or whatever that is being introduced is that it is made or designed only for India. So in that sense, it was an extreme, and what Ambassador said has sort of pulled it back a little bit. I don't think this means that tomorrow some deal is happening or some great positive thing is happening, but I think the other end was extreme. So you've come back to a slightly normal. I am actually right now a little happier that all this has happened before the budget, because now the government has to take some decisive steps to say that we can handle this without US, and if US deal happens and all that, then that is like Sone pe suhaga.
Suhaga, that's absolutely right. Before I go to Abha, the major macro issue that comes out of it, what is your sense about the ability of our markets to look beyond the tariff headlines? Because there is so much more that is happening. You could also talk that Trump's other actions have a positive impact indirectly, for example, on crude oil, with more Venezuelan crude that will set to come into the market. So how should markets look at this beyond the tariff headlines?
That if you are not friends with US, then many US investors, many US FDI guys will not want to make high profile India related announcements, because they will feel that, you know, there is some relationship fraying of that or whatever. I don't think it is, because even our exports in November were pretty good. So it is not that literally, and also many people say that if at 50% tariff, it's become so difficult to export, how will 100 and 200% tariff make a difference? I think it is not that. It is just that the US is a big influencer indirectly, implicitly on institutional flows and large announcements being made in terms of investments. Plus, there is this thing also in the discussion that these tariffs can be introduced, and that means that they also may look at our services and exports and all that, or GCCs. Therefore, to have good relations with US, and at least similar to what other countries have, where today we seem to be highlighted as, one of the one or two with very high tariffs. So it's that more than literally whether any economic impact is there or not, and whether oil price is $2 more or $2 less.
And of course, you can tune in onto Business Today's social media handles to catch the entire interview. Don't forget to also tune in at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for all the market opening action. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business Today Show.
The world's most powerful double-engine coverage, where access meets expertise. Davos Brainstorm, 19th to 23rd January. Only on India Today and Business Today.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra. And